Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today, and this one is the Dugan Center Column Reference Edition in the King James Version. Now, if you guys are familiar with Dugan, they make Bibles that are fairly heavy laden as far as features are concerned, and this one really is no different. The one that most people try and go for is the full-size edition, and I think it's the 7762 or the 7763, something like that. It's somewhere in that collection of numbers. But that's the full-size edition. This is not the full-size edition. This is more of a personal size. But still fairly feature-rich. So we'll go ahead and get into it. Let's start with the box here, though. It's a very nice box, very solid two-piece box. You can see at the top there it says the Sunday School Bible. It's got the Dugan logo, pertinent information. I'll go ahead and linger there for a second so you guys can hopefully read the features. I got to kind of angle it because, as you can see, everything is reflected, including my mug. Hey, guys! And the lamp and the lights and everything. This is a very shiny box cover. But hopefully you guys can make out all the features there. And see, oh, hey, my camera, let me steady that out. Hopefully you guys can see the features there and read it well enough. On the top, we have a little sample of the text, and then the UPC, if you guys are interested in looking it up on eBay or anything like that. On the bottom, just more information along with the item number, and this one is the 7772. So that's it as far as the box goes. Again, a two-piece box. It has a nice silver foil there on the back. Fairly heavy construction there, so it's a nice box. The Bible itself, very handsome edition, very nice edition. I love the way Dugan used to do their Bibles. Very nicely done. This is a bonded leather, Burgundy, and it does have a little bit of texture there, and you can see a little perimeter line on the edge. And there's a little variation in the color, so it's not just like a kind of a plain sheet of Burgundy there. It has a little bit of a kind of contrast to it. As far as the spine is concerned, we have Holy Bible, and then the original King James Version, Center Reference Edition, and then the Dugan logo and the item number, which is typically how Dugan produced it with the item numbers at the bottom of the spine there, if you guys are ever looking. So this is a 77CR2, which doesn't match the this is stock number on the box. So I'm curious if that's the box that belonged to this Bible, probably, if I had to guess, but I guess I'll have to check and make sure. I'll annotate it if that's not the case. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 raised spine hubs, and these are fairly nicely raised. I don't think that they appear raised, but like when you feel them, you can actually feel they're popped up fairly nicely, so they're fairly tactile there. On the back, we just have that same grain, or faux grain, as you might want to call it. And then you have genuine bonded leather kind of imprinted there on the back. Other exterior features, we don't have any ribbons. We do have some burgundy and gold head and tail bands, and a very nice kind of gold gilt there, or golden gilt. I don't know if it doesn't appear to be probably real gold, but it's a golden color. Nicely done. When we open it up to the inside cover, we can see there's a little Florentine fillet, or fillet, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I call it the Florentine fillet, and it's that little kind of gold trim around the perimeter edge there on the inside. Take a look at the corner work. Not that there's much to really look at, but you just have a paste down liner here, and it's a synthetic material for the liner, not a paper material. Fairly nice construction materials, nicely done, certainly. And you know what? I'm trying to see here on my little cheat sheet if it is paste down, or if it is nope. Okay, so it's not criminy. It's not Smythsone. It's been a while since I've done these reviews. Again, forgive me for getting back into the swing of things. It is not Smythsone. This is what's known as a double fan or a perfect binding, and that's essentially just a glued binding. So that's probably the downfall of this edition is the more you use it, I would imagine over time, probably over a few years of use, the pages might start coming out. That's not a guarantee. Sometimes I've seen some glued editions that hold up very, very, very well, but you just have to be a little more cautious with it as you open it and use it, that sort of thing, just so it holds up and you get the most bang for your buck out of it. So we'll go ahead and get into it. We have the end sheet there, the liner. Then we have a few heavy cardstock pages, fairly heavy there. And then we have a presentation page. Nicely done. It's kind of a semi-gloss paper. Probably want to be careful what you fill it out with. Then you have births and marriages here on the reverse side of that. And then a little opening for the Bible. I'll let you guys take a look at that. If you want to pause it and read it, you're more than welcome to. Then we have the Holy Bible title page. And the back of that page has some copyright information. Looks like it's copyright 1986. And then we have the table of contents on the reverse side, on the opposite side. Then we have the alphabetical order of the books of the Bible. Then we have some explanations here about the Pentateuch, the book of Genesis, the book of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. So a little bit of an explanation there as far as each book is concerned. And it gets right into the biblical text, the book of Genesis. So I'll go ahead and show that to you guys. You can see it is a double column, verse by verse format, which is standard for the King James Version. And I'm not seeing any Pilcrow markers. We'll have to keep an eye out for that later on, but you can see some of the other features here. They are using chronology here, so they're dating the books of the Bible. And you can see all the cross-references and the footnotes there in the center column. You guys can take a look. Nicely done. We'll flip the page over so you get a better feel. We have page numbers up at the top center of the columns. And you have the book and chapter numbers on the outer corners. And let's see, on the inner corners or on the inner and the gutter area, you have a little running header for each section. Now, there are chapter indicators within the text. You can see there chapter 2, but you also have running headers throughout the text. So here you have the first Sabbath, not the final Sabbath, the first Sabbath, and then the Garden of Eden here. And then it continues here, the making of woman. So it kind of goes through it all. And again, I'm not seeing any Pilcrow markers, so they must be absent. I am seeing pronunciation marks, and then you have little superscripts there for the notes where they're concerned. So let's go ahead and flip through it a little bit, and you guys can get a feel for what it looks like. There are little indicators here, and you saw one in Genesis there, but little crown indicators here as well. And that would be, I'm sure the box explains it, or probably in the text, but usually those are verses. Let's take a look here. Usually they're verses that relate to Christ, right? So it says, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So yeah, I would imagine the little crown indicators there are pointing towards Christ. So go ahead and flip through. You can see a few more of them there in the text, little crowns. But yeah, a lot of information. Especially for a personal size edition like this, there's quite a bit. And like I said, Dugans are fairly known for being fairly feature dense, so it's nice to have all this sort of thing. And it looks like there's a little dove here. And it came to pass when the kings of the Amorites, which were on the sides of the Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan from before the children of Israel until we were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was the spirit in them any more because of the children of Israel. So yeah, I'm guessing the dove probably alludes to the Holy Spirit, right? Which would make sense. That it's typically how it goes, right? The dove iconography. So we'll keep flipping and see if there's any more, and hopefully it'll explain it maybe towards the back, or maybe I passed over it in the front. But yeah. You can see a little section here at the beginning. It's interesting, I didn't see this at the beginning of Genesis, but here at the beginning of the book of Nehemiah, it has a little bit of an explanation here about Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a cupbearer, a very high position to the Persian king Artaxerxes, who afterward appointed him governor of Jerusalem and permitted him to rebuild that city. So a little note here about Nehemiah, which is awesome. I'm curious why they wouldn't put anything at the beginning of Genesis. Maybe self-explanatory. Most people understand what Genesis is about, right? So we'll keep flipping through. Actually, you know what? Let's backtrack and we'll go to Psalms right quick. We'll take a look at that. Psalm 119. So here we have Psalm 119. We'll take a look at kind of everything we got going on here. You can see that they are giving the Hebrew characters and the transliteration as well. So you get both. We'll take a look at the paper there. And it's a very nice paper, all things considered. There's a little bit of a show through, but certainly not bad by any means. Much better than even today's probably premium papers. Funny to say, right? Kind of the entry level paper from back in the day was better than the premium papers from today. But you know, that's how it is, right? Let's go ahead and get to the New Testament. So there we have the end of Malachi. And we have the New Testament title page. And the Gospel according to Matthew. And again, we have a little section there that kind of gives us a little bit of information about the book of Matthew. And we'll flip the page over, or a couple pages over, and get to Sermon on the Mount. You see it is a red letter text. Let you guys take a look at that red letter. It's a fairly nice red letter. It's fairly deep colored, much better certainly than a World Edition. It's kind of a burgundy color. There's got a little bit of kind of a brown color to it, but it's a very nice dark red color. I'd rather them kind of err on the side of like a deeper red like this than trying to make it like a vibrant red. Vibrant red usually doesn't work out so hot. So let's keep going through it. We'll get to the end. I would imagine there's a lot of features in the end. So we'll flip through it. Oh, right there. Perfect. Caught it. So here you have the end of the New Testament, Revelation 22. And then you get right into a daily devotional. I wonder if it has 28 days in February. It has 29 days in February, interesting enough. I have no idea why they do that. It's so weird to me. Then we have the life and works of the Apostle Paul, and then great Bible stories, parables and miracles of Jesus, Bible statistics, Bible questions and answers, and where to read when. And then it gives you different little sections here, where to read when you're afraid, if you're lonely, if you're conscious of sin, if you're thankful. So just different sections. Life's problems, God's answers, important passages. I love it when they have these sorts of things. They're just such beneficial helps. Then we have the dictionary, comprehensive Bible helps. We'll take a look here at some of the entries. And we'll keep going. We'll kind of thumb through the dictionary. That usually ends up being kind of long in the tooth. But you can see there are some illustrations in the dictionary. I'll zoom in for you guys there, as you can see. So a few neat little illustrations in the dictionary. We get to the end of the dictionary, and we have the concordance to the Bible. I'll let you guys check that out as well. And here's some of your entries. And we'll thumb through that. Yeah, that looks like it's about it. Loose leaf sheet there. Not loose leaf, but just a normal leaf of Bible paper there. And then a few, about two sheets there of just that thick cardstock again. It's kind of interesting they don't have any maps. I don't know if maybe they didn't get permission to use any from anybody or anything like that, or they just didn't have any developed. But it's kind of odd that there's no maps there in the back. A lot of helps though otherwise, which is nice. So the Dugan Bible. Let's go ahead and get a measurement for you. So again, this is a personal size, and it comes in about 5 1/4 inches, just shy of that, wide, and 7.5 inches tall, and about an inch, a little more than an inch and an eighth thick. So fairly trim edition, good portable size, right? Easy to carry, certainly. We'll go ahead and get a measurement on the text. Start with the lowercase, and we'll do the N right here. And it looks to be about a 9-point font for the lowercase versus Times New Roman. And we'll do the uppercase. Do a T. T is always hard, but we'll work with it. Uppercase is a little bit smaller, about an 8-point font versus Times New Roman for the uppercase. But we'll go with the lowercase, right? There's more lowercase letters, so we'll say it's about a 9-point font versus Times New Roman for the text here, the biblical text. So not a bad font size. 9-point is really nothing to scoff at, especially for, again, a more personal size Bible. Usually the fonts are smaller than that for personal size. They usually end up being like 8-point or something like that. So certainly this is a fairly nice sized edition. So Bible Buddies, if you're interested, this one will be posted for sale. Otherwise, you should be able to take the item number and search for it on eBay and find it. If you're interested, if this one's gone by the time you guys find this, or certainly the UPC, you should be able to find it. It says features, special symbols. The dove indicates references to the Holy Spirit, the crown indicating a prophecy of Jesus Christ, King of Kings. So there you go. But yes, hopefully this Bible is the Bible that goes with this text. I think it is. So if it doesn't, again, I'll annotate it. Bible Buddies, until next time, bye.